Hello students, welcome everyone. I am back again with a new topic, and today's topic we will discuss about permittivity and relative permittivity. All of you see, we have got in Coulomb's law the formula was F equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square, where K equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught already we have got. According to Coulomb's law, we have already learned about 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square, where this term is known as epsilon naught. And what does this epsilon naught denotes? It denotes about the permittivity of free space or vacuum or air, if you see, isn't it? Now we shall introduce a new term today about relative permittivity, and also discuss about permittivity in case of any medium. Okay, in case of any medium, we have already found the permittivity in case of free space or vacuum, but today we will discuss about permittivity in any medium. Okay, let's discuss the topic. Let us take two charges. One charge we have taken Q1 and another charge we have taken Q2. And what is the separation between the two charges? The separation is R. Let's take the two charges in free space or vacuum. Suppose we have taken the charges in free space. Okay. In textbook, if you see free space or vacuum or air, it is considered to be the same. Remember that. Now, what we got in this case, we have taken two charges. We have placed the two charges in vacuum separated by distance R. Now, in this case, what will be Coulomb's law? F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. We have got. In the second case, if you see, okay, let's take the first case. What does this epsilon naught means? This means permittivity of free space. This means permittivity of free space, or we can say vacuum. Okay, let it be equation number 1. Okay. Again, in the second case, let us consider two charges. Okay. Again, if you consider two charges Q1 and Q2, and if you place it in medium, the medium may be, remember that medium may be oil, medium may be glass, medium may be water, any medium we can take. Okay. So just I have mentioned here about medium. So Q1 and Q2 we have taken two charges separated by the same distance, if you see, and the distance is R. Now, what will be the formula? F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay, let it be equation number 2. Now, you see in both the cases, what is the difference? In this case, we have taken in vacuum. We have kept the charges in vacuum, and the Coulomb's law is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. But in the second case, we have taken the same charges separated by the same distance, and we have placed it in medium. You see, what we have got the Coulomb's law, F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. What does this epsilon means? This epsilon means permittivity of the medium. You see, we have got the permittivity of the medium. You can note down it. In the first case, we have got, what have got in the first case? We have got equation number 1 for vacuum or free space or air, you can say F equal to 1 by 4 pi Q1 Q2 by R square. In the second case, you can see for medium, when the two charges are placed in medium, we have got F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. What does this epsilon means? Epsilon means the permittivity of the medium. So today's topic, what is the topic today? It is the permittivity. Okay, we'll discuss about the permittivity. Now, what is permittivity? If you see, K equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon, isn't it? For a medium, if you see, for any medium, if you consider for any medium, what we have got? K equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Here epsilon indicates the permittivity. You see, epsilon indicates here the permittivity. Okay, now what does this permittivity means? This symbol is said to be epsilon. We can say this symbol to be epsilon. Now, what is mean by permittivity? If you see, permit means what? To allow, isn't it? If you consider the name, or if you see the name about permittivity, what you can find? You can find about the permittivity. Permittivity means permit. That means what? Allow. Now, in this case, we will find the force. We will find force between the two charges. So, does it means that the force will be increased? Permit means allow. So does it means that the force of interaction between the two charges, it will increase? But it is not true about that. Okay. What does permittivity means? Permittivity is a property of a medium. Remember that. Permittivity. What does permittivity means? It is a property. It is a property of the medium. Okay. It is the property of the medium. And what does permittivity do? According to the name, permit means allow, isn't it? It permits. It permits its own field. Okay, it permits its own field to decrease the interaction field between the two charges. Remember that, between the two charges. Okay, between the two charges, it is a property of the medium. It permits its own field to decrease the interaction field between the two charges. That means, what does it mean? Suppose we have taken two charges and there is force of interaction, isn't it? There is force of interaction between the two charges. What does permittivity do? If the two charges is kept in a medium, suppose if the two charges are kept in water, kept in oil, or kept in glass, then what you will find, this permittivity, what does it do? What does this permittivity do? It decreases, it helps to decrease the force of interaction between the two charges. That means the magnitude of the two charges, magnitude of the force between the two charges is affected. Remember that. So, why it is affected? Because you have placed the charges in a medium. But in this case, if you see, the force is not affected as we have kept the two charges in free space or vacuum. Okay. So this is the difference you can find. When the two charges are kept in a medium, then because of the permittivity or because of the property of the medium, the force of interaction between the two charges is decreased. Remember that. What happens? It decreases. That means it permits its own field to decrease the interaction field between the two charges. That means it is a property of the medium. Remember that it is the property of the medium. So from our explanation, what is the conclusion we have found? From the explanation, what is the conclusion we have found? If you see, if we place the two charges in a vacuum, for vacuum, if you see, for vacuum or free space or air. Already I have said in textbook, free space or vacuum or air is considered to be same, though air is considered to be medium, isn't it? So you see, for vacuum or free space or air, the value of epsilon is, remember that the value of epsilon is minimum. Remember that the value of epsilon is minimum. Okay, if for free space, if for vacuum, for free space or air, the value of epsilon is minimum. That means it is considered to be epsilon naught. And what happens when the property of the medium, if you see, or what happens when the permittivity is minimum? Then force is found to be maximum. If the permittivity is minimum, then you can find the force to be maximum. Remember that, and it is said to be F naught. Okay, we can say F naught. So if you see, but when the two charges are placed in a medium, in case of a medium, if you see, if you place the two charges separated by the same distance in a medium, then what happens? The permittivity is maximum. Remember that the permittivity is maximum. Okay, the permittivity is maximum and it is said to be epsilon m. Remember that the permittivity is said to be maximum and it is said to be epsilon m. And what happens when the permittivity is maximum? Then if the permittivity is maximum, then what happens? The force becomes minimum. Remember that the force becomes minimum. Okay, the force becomes minimum and it is denoted by Fm. Remember that. So, what is the conclusion we have got? When the two charges are placed in a vacuum, then the force is maximum. Remember that. Force is maximum because there is no any medium which will affect the force between the two charges. Okay, but when the same charges separated by the same distance is kept in a medium, then what happens? Because of maximum permittivity, the force becomes the force becomes minimum. Remember that. So these two conditions you have to remember. Okay. Now let's see. Now if you see from equation number 1 and 2, if you see, let this be considered to be vacuum and let this be considered to be medium. So F vacuum divided by F medium. What we will find? We will find 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square divided by 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. As a result, if you see F vacuum divided by F medium will be equal to epsilon divided by epsilon naught. This ratio is said to be epsilon R, or it is said to be K. What does this epsilon R or K means? It means relative permittivity, if you see. So what is the concept being introduced? This is what? Permittivity of the medium, isn't it? And this is permittivity of free space or vacuum or air. So the ratio between the permittivity of the medium to the permittivity of free space is equal to epsilon R or K. Epsilon R is known as relative permittivity, remember that, and K is known as dielectric constant. Dielectric constant, if you see, K is known as dielectric constant. So if you see, what we have got, epsilon R is equal to epsilon divided by epsilon naught. K or epsilon R is equal to epsilon divided by epsilon naught. So how we can define relative permittivity? We can define relative permittivity as, if you see, you can define relative permittivity like this. It is defined as the ratio of permittivity of the medium to the permittivity of free space. If you see, relative permittivity is also known as dielectric constant. Remember that. Always remember, relative permittivity is known as dielectric constant. Okay. Now if you see, in this case, if you see F vacuum divided by F medium, F vacuum divided by F medium is equal to epsilon R, or we can say K. So can you find the value of F medium? Yes. We can find the value of F medium. It will be F vacuum divided by K. If you see, F medium equal to F vacuum divided by K, isn't it? So F vacuum, what is the formula we have got? F vacuum, we have got the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K Q1 Q2 by R square, or we can say, or we can also write F medium is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R Q1 Q2 divided by R square, which will be Coulomb's law. According to Coulomb's law, if you see, according to Coulomb's law, for any medium, if you see, Coulomb's law for any medium, you can find F medium is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R Q1 Q2 by R square, isn't it? Now, note down this point, okay? Now, if you see, we have got all these things. Now, what will be the value of K if we place the two charges in a particular medium? Then what will be the value of this K or epsilon R, isn't it? So if you see the value of K or epsilon R is given, remember that for vacuum K is considered to be 1, remember that. And for medium, suppose for medium, if you see, for vacuum we have taken K equal to 1. For air, if you see, for air it is taken to be K equal to 1.0054. Remember that. For air, what you have got? K equal to 1.0054. For water, remember that. For water, K is considered to be 80. Remember that. For water, what we have taken? K is taken to be 80. So with the value of this K equal to 1, K equal to 1.0054, K equal to 80, we can easily find Coulomb's law for any medium. If you place the two charges in a medium, then what will be the Coulomb's law? F medium is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K Q1 Q2 by R square. So this is the required value of the Coulomb's law. Remember that. Now if you see, so you can remember this all these points. So students, overall discussion on আমি কি শিকিলো আমি শিকিছো about permittivity already কি কলো মই দুটা চার্জৰ মাজত সৃষ্টি হোৱা যেটো ফোর্স আছে ফোর্সটো ডিক্রিজ কৰা এটা প্ৰপাৰ্টি মিডিয়ামৰ এটা প্ৰপাৰ্টিটোক নাম দিয়া হৈছে কি permittivity যদি দুটা চার্জ আমি free space বা ভ্যাকুয়ামত প্লেস কৰো তেতিয়া কি হ'ব ফোর্সৰ ভ্যালুটো ম্যাক্সিমাম হ'ব মনত ৰাখিবা কিন্তু সেম এমাউন্ট অফ চার্জ লৈছো সেম ডিসটেন্স লৈছো যদি আমি বেলেগ এটা মিডিয়ামত প্লেস কৰো মিডিয়ামত প্লেস কৰাৰ লগে লগে কি হ'ব ফোর্স কি হ'ব ডিক্রিজ হ'ব কোনে কৰাব ডিক্রিজ টু মিডিয়ামৰ এটা প্ৰপাৰ্টিয়ে কৰাব আৰু সেই প্ৰপাৰ্টিটোক নাম দিয়া হৈছে কি permittivity তাৰ লগত আমি পাইছো relative permittivity what does relative permittivity means আমি already পাইছিলো definition to relative permittivity is defined as the ratio between the permittivity of the medium to the permittivity of free space এটো পাইছিলো আমি ফর্মুলা আছে আমাৰ epsilon r আমি relative permittivity ডিনোট কৰিছিলো relative permittivity আর এটা নাম হৈছে dielectric constant মনত ৰাখিবা relative permittivity equal to epsilon divided by epsilon naught আমি epsilon to epsilon m বুলিও লিখিব পাৰো divided by কি পাম আমি epsilon naught so overall formula কি পাম আমি epsilon m is equal to epsilon r into epsilon naught এটো আমাৰ overall formula এতিয়া তোমালোকে নোট কৰিব লাগে কথাটো হৈছে চোৱা epsilon m কি হয় permittivity of the medium always কি হয় greater than permittivity of free space মনত ৰাখিবা যাৰ বাবে কি হয় ফোর্স মিডিয়ামত থকা যেটো ফোর্স বা দুটা চার্জ যদি আমি মিডিয়ামত প্লেস কৰিম তাত থকা যেটো ফোর্স বা যেটো ফোর্স পাম আমি এই ফোর্সটো কি হ'ব ফ্রি স্পেসত থকা ফোর্সত কৈ কি হ'ব কম হ'ব এটো মনত ৰাখিবা কিয় কাৰণে কম হৈছে কাৰণ তাতে এটা প্ৰপাৰ্টি এক্টিং হৈ আছে আৰু হেতু প্ৰপাৰ্টিটোৱে কি কৰিছে দুটা চাৰ্জৰ মাজত যেটো ইন্টাৰেকশন ফিল্ড আছে এটো ব্ৰেক কৰিছে যাৰ বাবে কি হ'ল ফোর্সটো ডিক্রিজ হৈছে তোমালোকে চোৱা এতিয়া ৰিলেটিভ পারমিটিভিটি উলোৱা কিবা এটা ফৰ্মুলা পাইছো আমি ফর্মুলা এটা অলরেডি পাইছো আমি রিলেটিভ পারমিটিভিটি উলোৱা যেটো epsilon r equal to epsilon by epsilon naught এতিয়া তোমালোকে চোৱা ভ্যালু বিলাক কিছুমান চাও আমি অলরেডি কেয়ার ভ্যালু দিছো তোমালোকক এতিয়া epsilon r ৰ কিছুমান ভ্যালু চাম বা মিডিয়ামত দুটা চার্জ যদি আমি মিডিয়ামত প্লেস কৰো তেতিয়া ভ্যালু বিলাক কেনেকুৱা হ'ব পাৰে চোৱা epsilon naught যেটো ফ্রি স্পেসৰ কাৰণে পাইছো অলরেডি জানো 8.85 into 10 to the power -12 কলাম স্কয়ার পার নিউটন মিটার স্কয়ার অলরেডি পাইছো আমি এতিয়া দুটা চার্জ যদি আমি ওয়াটাৰত প্লেস কৰো এটা পার্টিকুলার ডিসটেন্স তেতিয়া কি হ'ব 7.12 into 10 to the power -10 কলাম স্কয়ার পার নিউটন মিটার স্কয়ার এটো এটা ভ্যালু পালো তাৰ পিছত সেম এমাউন্ট অফ চার্জ যদি আমি সেম চার্জ দুটা যদি আমি গ্লাছত প্লেস কৰো ওকে গ্লাস টু মিডিয়াম হিসাবে লো আর তাতে যদি আমি প্লেস কৰো তেতিয়া কি হ'ব 3.01 into 10 to the power -11 কলাম স্কয়ার নিউটন পার নিউটন মিটার স্কয়ার এটো তোমালোকে চোৱা এতিয়া তোমালোকে চোৱা যিবিলাক ভ্যালু পাইছো আমি মিডিয়াম বুলি কলে বহুত ধৰণৰ মিডিয়াম আছে অয়েল আছে ওয়াটার আছে গ্লাস আছে আৰু কত কি মিডিয়াম আছে নহয় জানো এই গুটি বিলাক মিডিয়ামৰ ভ্যালু বিলাক আমাক মনত ৰাখা পসিবল জানো কিবাতে ইজিয়েষ্ট ওয়ে আছে না যাৰ বাবে আমি ইজিলি মিডিয়ামটো উলাই লব পাৰো কেতিয়াবা কোৱেশ্চনত যদি দিয়া না থাকে আমি কেনেকুৱা মানে ফৰ্মুলা ইউজ কৰি আমি মিডিয়াম বিলাক উলাব পাৰো যেনেকুৱা এটো ভ্যালুটো আমি অলৰেডি গম পাও সাপোজ দুটা চার্জ ওয়াটাৰত প্লেস কৰা হৈছে এতিয়া পারমিটিভিটি অফ ওয়াটাৰটো আমি নাজানো কেনেকৈ ওলাব পাৰিম যাৰ বাবে মই এটা সিম্পল এক্সাম্পল দেখুৱাই দিছো তোমালোকক চোৱা ৰিলেটিভ পারমিটিভিটি অফ ওয়াটাৰ ইজ 81 দিয়া আছে relative permittivity of water is 81 what does it means it means that epsilon r is equal to 81 দিয়া আছে so already আমি ফর্মুলাটো জানো epsilon r equal to em divided by e naught এটা em আমি কি পাইছো water medium আমি কি পাইছো water so water em or ঠাইত কি লিখিম আমি ew লিখিম divided by epsilon naught is equal to কি পালো আমি 81 so এটো যদি হয় এটা ক্রস মাল্টিপ্লাই কৰিলো আমি এটা 81 যদি হয় 81 into 8.85 লিখিব পাৰো আমি 81 into 8.85 into 10 to the power -12 লিখিব পাৰো আমি কলাম স্কয়ার পার নিউটন মিটার স্কয়ার অলরেডি লিখিব পাৰো তেতিয়া আমি ভ্যালুটো পাই যাম ইয়াৰ পৰা আমি ফোর্স লাভ পাৰো সো মিডিয়ামত প্লেস কৰাৰ লগে লগে ফোর্সটো ডিক্রিজ হ'ব আৰু ফোর্সৰ ভ্যালুটো কি হ'ব অলরেডি আমি ফর্মুলা এটা পাইছো ফোর্স ইন মিডিয়াম ইজ ইকুয়াল টু ফোর্স ইন ভ্যাকুয়াম ডিভাইডেড বাই এপসিলন r বা k বুলি পাইছো আমি সো f w is equal to কি হ'ব f naught divided by 81 হ'ব এটো ভ্যালুটো অলরেডি পাই যাব আমি f w equal to f naught by 81 সেকেন্ড কেসত সোৱা তোমালকে epsilon r of মানে relative permittivity of liquid is 8 that means epsilon l লিকুইডৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত epsilon l লিখিছো divided by epsilon লিখিছো আমি সো ইয়াতে তোমালকে চাবা যদি মই epsilon r যদি উলাব লাগে আমাৰ 8 into কি হ'ব 8.85 into 10 to the power -12 column square per newton meter square so result আমি পাই যাম so medium পালো আমি permittivity of the liquid or value আমি পাই যাম similar case এটা লৈছো epsilon r of glass is 7 এতিয়া Eg divided by E naught লিখিব পাৰো সো ইয়াৰ পৰা Eg লব পাৰো আমি 7 into epsilon naught সো এতিয়া হ'ব 7 into 8.85 into 7 into 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12 লিখিব পাৰো আমি coulomb square per newton meter square সো সোয়া ইজিলি আমি কি কৰিব পাৰো উলাব পাৰো যদি আমাৰ রিলেটিভ পারমিটিভিটি দিয়া যদি থাকে যে কোনো মিডিয়ামৰ রিলেটিভ পারমিটিভিটি যদি দিয়া থাকে ইজিলি আমি permittivity of the medium আমি উলাব পাৰো সো আজি আমি কি ডিসকাস কৰিলো আমি ডিসকাস কৰিলো about permittivity of free space যেটো আমি কি বুলি কৈছো epsilon not বুলি ডিনোট কৰো আমি ঠিক আছে যাৰ ভ্যালু 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12 অলৰেডি পাইছো আমি তাৰ পিছত সোৱা দুটা চাৰ্জ যদি আকো আমি মিডিয়ামত প্লেস কৰো মিডিয়ামত প্লেস কৰাৰ লগে লগে এটো epsilon নটৰ ঠাইত আমি কি লিখিব পাৰিম epsilon লিখিব পাৰিম অনলি বা epsilon m লিখিব পাৰিম আৰু এটো ভ্যালু অলৰেডি আমি উলাব পাৰিলো ঠিক আছে সো পারমিটিভিটি কি বুজি পালা তোমালোকে পারমিটিভিটি হৈছে কি এটো এটা মিডিয়ামৰ এটা প্ৰপাৰ্টি যেটো প্ৰপাৰ্টিৰ দ্বাৰা কি হয় চাৰ্জ দুটা যেতিয়া মিডিয়ামত প্লেস কৰা হয় তেতিয়া ফোৰ্সৰ ভ্যালুটো কি হয় বা ফোৰ্সৰ ম্যাগনিটিউড এফেক্টেড হয় এটো মনত ৰাখিবা ঠিক আছে অলৰেডি ডেফিনেশন বিলাক দিয়া হৈছে তোমালোকে এখিনি চাবা ভালকৈ যিখিনি বুজাইছো তোমালোকক যিখিনি কনসেপ্ট দিছো হক তোমালোকে বুজি পাইছা আৰু এখিনি কনসেপ্ট তোমালোকে ভালকৈ শিকি লবা থ্যাংক ইউ